and I sort of just began to go from there. So I would buy homes, flip them, wholesale, lease to own, all that kind of stuff, subject twos, and that's where I got my start. And I got my real estate license really primarily just to help my friends and family, and really for myself, just because who wants to pay real estate agent commissions, right? So I was like, yeah, I can get my own real estate license. I don't have to pay an agent. I get to save this money on the flip. So and then my wife sort of challenged me. I've always loved marketing, always loved had a heart for that kind of thing. And my wife said, well, hey, you got this license. Why don't you try sending out a postcard like geographic farming, like because she saw a YouTube video on it or something. Like, yeah, why not? So I sent out a little postcard to a little community I wanted to farm. And lo and behold, I got my first listing that way. I sent 50 postcards out and got my very first listing, $750,000 property. And I got both sides of the commission on that. So
That's a
I was
great
like,
ROI right there.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, needless to say, I was like, yeah, I think I'm done with this investing thing. I was like, yes, please. I'll take more of that. I was like, you mean to tell me I can make this much money over here on the agency side, and I don't have to worry about hard money lenders, breaking my kneecaps because I'm late on, interest payments and stuff like that. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do the agent thing. So that's sort of where I started, focusing on being an agent. Quickly became the number one agent at the little boutique brokerage I was at. And then I was like, man, I'm all in. So but I need to be with a big brand. Of course, that's what we all think. So I signed up with Remax, hopped on the big balloon for a little while, rookie of the year over there, and then became one of the top agents at that sales office. And then from there, I hit a ceiling, pretty quickly because it was just me. Had no team, no help, no, real business processes whatsoever. So I was like, man, I got to do something else because at that point I was doing, 40 or so, 40, 50 deals myself. And I was like, that's just, I burnt out. So I was like, do I want to start a team? Do I want to start a brokerage? And ultimately went over to Redfin and looked at their model, and it made sense to me at the time. And I did that, became the number one agent at Redfin. And they were like, yeah, we got to get this guy a team, right? So I started one of the first teams there. Team was successful, and they said, hey, why not give this guy the brokerage? Let him run the whole brokerage for Texas. So I ran the brokerage for Redfin. We grew up from about 200 agents at the time I came there to about 700 agents when I found out about eXp. And somebody hit me up on LinkedIn and said, hey, have you heard of this eXp thing? And I was like, no, what is it all about? And I haven't slept since. So I got here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's that EXP insomnia. So from that point, they brought me in here as a designated broker for the state of Texas for eXp. And yeah, at that time, I think we had about 6,000 agents or so when I came over to Texas. And, we grew in the 2.5 years that I was DMB for Texas. We grew from about 6,000 agents to nearly 10,000 agents. And then our C-suite was like, yeah, what the heck is going on in Texas? Like the growth is out of control there. And they were like, hey, Tony, we want you to just do growth. So I was like, yes, you may not have to worry about these lawsuits and agency complaints and licensing complaints and chasing around, paychecks and stuff. And I was like, yes, absolutely. So Michael and Glenn and them said, hey, why don't we let him do growth? So that here I am today. So
There
I don't
you
know if
are.
that's
So,
that's the 5 minute version, 4 minute version.
all right, beautiful, man. Thank you for sharing all of that. I had no idea, and thank you for your service. And that's a wild story
I
of coming
appreciate it.
back and trying to retrain yourself altogether. There, man. That's wild. And so you're going on about 3 years now, 3 years ish.
Yes, 3 years. Yep.
Okay. And we got some big changes going on over here at eXp, right? We got Russ Lagan that was just promoted to vice president of growth, who was a good friend of mine. I was an executive with him at over at Carrington. And then, like, do you know my girl Wendy Forsythe?
Never heard of her. No, Wendy's incredible. She's already made a huge impact in like 3 days or 4 days that she's been here.
Right.
Yeah, no, love Wendy. She's incredible.
She's going to bring so much attention to the game because she
It's
speaks to everything. And she was my mentor. Like we had grown Carrington to almost 3,000 agents together. And so
wow.
she taught me, like when I would be on stage, like she would give me tips and tricks and, hey, try this and do that. And got me into using video and stuff like that. Man, I appreciate her so much and so excited that she's back on our team here. But so first off, like when we were at the regional rally, man, you kind of dropped like all kinds of things that were coming down the pipeline and stuff that I don't think that most EXP agents are have any idea about. And so I would love for us to kind of start there and give
Yeah.
some Cliff Notes version, answer questions and stuff like that. You know, we got roughly around 50 people or so on. But man, I would love for us to start there. You should be able to share your screen if you need to, if you want to. It's up to you whether we just talk or we kind of run through slides. It's entirely up to you.
Yeah. So I'll pull this up here. Yeah, y'all can see that now.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, a lot of things that at the rally we talked about all the successes and all the amazing things that we've done as a company. And you know, everyone probably here knows all those things and the fact that we're number one across like every category on the planet as the number one real estate brokerage. But then we got into the future and what the future holds, and it is absolutely incredible. The first thing is the My eXp app that's is still in beta, and I think we just rolled it out May 1st. So if you go and log into your My eXp app, you'll see some changes that are already in there. One of them, of course, is real-time revenue share. That's already sort of taken effect, which I'll talk about that in a bit. But a part of these changes that we're going to be making to the My eXp app, they will blow your mind, y'all. The first thing is like a pizza tracker deal, right? Which we stole from kind of a Domino's pizza. You know, when you order Domino's, you can see like, all right, now we're putting the cheese on the pizza, and then we're putting the sauce on the pizza, and then we're putting the pepperonis on the pizza, and on, right? And then we're putting it in the oven, all right? So I think that we sort of modeled behind that because one of the frustrating things that we hear from our agents, from our influencers, from our top producers is when they bring someone to eXp, they don't know what's happening with them, like where they're at in the process, what's going on. So we have fixed that, right? And we're working towards launching that. And you should see that very soon. When you bring someone to eXp, you can see exactly where they are in their app. For our team leaders, they will be able to log in and see where they're at on their team splits, what their team production looks like, who's doing what, how many deals. We're ultimately moving to a point where you'll also be able to see in real life events. So whatever part of the country you're in, or maybe you're talking to someone in California, you want to look and see, okay, hey, I hear they got Tony Robbins coming to Southern California at this event. I can go right here and I can see that. That event will be able to be broadcast right through the My eXp app. Also trainings and education, which I'll touch base on here in a moment. You're going to be able to see what trainings are going on and what you can tap into right from the My eXp app. Additionally, when you have individuals in your organizations that hit milestones, right? So you can log in, see your rev share group or your team right? And then you can see, hey, this person just sold their first deal. And with the touch of a button, you can send them a congratulations via social media, via text, whatever. Say, hey, congratulations, saw you just closed a big deal. Congratulations, you just hit your 1-year anniversary. You got some stock, hit icon. All those things you'll be able to do and see within a touch of a few buttons on the My eXp app. So that is going to be absolutely huge. And you'll be starting to see some of these features and things drop step by step and phase by phase.
Yeah, and
So
we already saw it with the instant payout and stuff, right?
yep,
Where
it's
it's
already
no
happening.
longer. And I think Wendy just posted that it's been live for 24 hours and people have already cashed in $1 million in revenue share
That
right
was yesterday's numbers.
right off the bat.
That was yesterday's numbers. We're probably headed towards 2 million now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's starting to get out there and agents are taking advantage of it. And it's absolutely incredible. I know that was always one of it's like that anticipation. Because yeah, you want to see the number go up, but then you also want it now.
Yeah,
Right. So
you want to use it, right? Like
you're
it's
right. You
worthless if
earned
you
it.
don't
Let's
use it at
go.
some point.
Yeah. So, that's one of the things that we really are excited about with this RevShare 2.0, which again, we'll talk a little bit about here in a moment. Another major improvement and sort of thing that we're doing under the incredible leadership of Mr. Brian Ellington, our chief learning officer. He is, when I look at our C-suite, it's incredible. Between Wendy now added to the team, we're doing incredible things. But Brian has launched this real estate on air KGCI, which is our 24/7 sort of podcast channel / radio channel, where it's not branded for eXp, which is the important thing. This is something that you can share as a part of your attraction efforts, or even just in your current organization or anywhere. You can just share industry updates, industry news, and production tips, all those things from the best of the best, because we know they're all here at eXp. And a lot of them have voluntarily shared and opened up their playbook, and they poured it into this like 24/7 podcast and radio channel. So KGCI is another incredible thing that we got coming and cooking up. We're not stopping there. We also have the eXp bookstore, more. If you ever wanted to crack open my head and see what books are inside there, it's a scary place to be, I'll warn you. But folks smarter than me, like Glenn Sanford and Michael Valdez and all these people, Leo, you want to see what makes them tick. This is where you do it, because a lot of times we are the culmination of our experiences and the books and the good stuff that we poured into our head. So this is an opportunity to crack open Glenn Sanford's head and say, hey, what makes you think the way that you think? And each executive will pick out a book on a monthly basis and then put that there, and that's sort of their book of the month, and you can see what they're reading. And then a lot of these things come at a discount too. So getting the information as it takes to help and make you successful. A lot of EXP agents as well have written books, so there's a pathway for that in there as well. So we want to help promote them. EXP exclusives. Everyone here should already know what that is and what that's about. But what they may not know is how the traction has been, and how many successes we're already starting to see on the EXP exclusive platform. Over 13,000 agents have already signed up. They've already posted over 1,500 exclusives. And by the way, these aren't like rinky-dink, condos that you'd be ashamed to put on the MLS.
Yeah.
The average list price is almost $900,000. $900,000 is the average list price. Because again, these are typically high-end homes that for whatever reason, those folks don't want to put on MLS, or maybe they're hip pocket listings. So a lot of these are incredible opportunities because they're at such higher price points. So that's important to consider as well. And by the way, whether you're going out on a listing presentation or a buyer's presentation, it gives you that edge, right? Because we know as listings, who knows what the future holds, right? Whether you want to continue to do buy-side business or you want to transition. But if agents transition out of focusing on buyers, you're going to stand out more at your listing consultation and at your listing appointments when you can say, hey, this is an additional source that we have that no one else has access to. Similarly, on the buy side, you can say, hey, look, you work with me as a buyer. I have access to all these listings that no one else has access to beside an EXP agent. So again, this is huge opportunity. Go ahead.
And if I could tell you guys, so this is where I capitalized on a lot of business in the REO space, right? Investors would call, hey, can you write an offer? Sorry, this one's taken. I have a list of homes that aren't on the market yet. Would that add value to you? Open houses, right? Like everybody has access to the MLS, but this is where it's different. We have over 90,000 agents that we can share that data and information. Compass has actually had some success with theirs, but they have, I don't know,
a
6,
fraction.
6,000, 9,000 agents, right? And so the volume that we have on here is growing. And I know there's plans to bring in all of the other countries and stuff like that as well. And the more that we're using this, it adds value in your listing presentation, right? Because now you have buyers of 90,000 agents that you can set up on searches for things in your area that are all pre-listed, right? That aren't on the MLS. That's where we can add value to our buyers. For our sellers, right? We can add that value to them. Look, we can get this out to over 90,000 agents before we list it on the MLS and start generating that activity and stuff there. So if you guys are not using it, like your REOs and things like that, guys, I think that you're missing the boat, because the more that we all pour into this, the bigger this is going to be and the more momentum and steam that we're going to be able to drive from this as well.
Yeah, and this is such a powerful weapon as well. If you consider going into a listing presentation, and we know sometimes we disagree with our sellers on price points, and saying, hey, how much is the property worth? This is a great testing ground sometimes before we hit the market, and saying, hey, let's see what the activity looks like. If we put it internally and we launch it here with just within our network, I can get feedback on how we're priced before we go on the market and have to risk price adjustments later on down the road. So many ways to utilize this as a part of your conversations with your sellers and with your buyers.
Love it.
Speaking of listings, right? So we have our listing kits. Not there yet. So we have our listing kits, which if you haven't seen these, again, super fancy. Hopefully y'all attended a regional rally around you or a EXPCon. We had them as well. But yeah, these listing kits are incredible as well. These are going to make you stand out at those listing appointments. There's actually 2 versions, right? So you have one that helps you win the listing. You have another one that just sort of demonstrates what it is that you're doing and what the marketing looks like. So I would highly encourage you to scan that QR code and check those out. And you do, these are incredible products that you can order, super fancy, very nice, very luxurious. And again, as listings become more competitive, we have empowered you to be able to stand out at those listing consultations.
But here's the
Uh,
thing, guys.
yeah,
This only helps you stand out if you use these things, right? And this
right.
is why I wanted Tony on here. I was like, we have so much, and agents hardly use any of it. And so if
Yep.
we don't use it, it's not valuable to us. It's not valuable to your clients or anything like that. But we have some of the thought leaders in this industry that are pushing these, that are gathering this information and keep evolving and adapting here. Use this, please.
And I love that. One of the greatest analogies that I've heard as it relates to sort of what you're talking about, making sure that we're using tools, is that at EXP, one of the biggest frustrations is like we have so many things to choose from. And it's like the analogy I heard was it's like you go to a vending machine, you put your 85 bucks in every month, you put $85 in, you have all these options, but you just stand there and you don't choose any of them. And the next month you put in another $85, you put in another $85, and but you're not selecting anything and putting it out and putting it to use. So don't be that one, right? Scan this stuff, use this stuff, right? The best of the best in the industry has come up with all of these things to be able to help you win, and they will help you, but only like Larry says, if you put them to use. So also got EXP Miami coming up. If you scan the QR code, you get a $50 off. Technically this was for the rally. So are we recording this? Don't tell anybody I gave you this. So you can still get 50 bucks. It's not too late. If you scan this QR code, I hope it still works. You can get 50 bucks off for eXpCon Miami coming up. That's going to be incredible. If you've been to eXpCon, if you know, right? It's going to be off the hook. And by the way, that was Vegas. Wait till we get to Miami. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Please do
All right,
come.
sorry,
Like,
I should have known this slide was coming up and had your pit bull going in the background. Like,
yeah, I know,
I
man.
should
You
have
aren't
been
ready for
ready.
me, dog. Come on. So yeah, it's going to be incredible in Miami, and that's what I was going to ask. Please come to the events, right? Come to the convention center. Don't be like out on the beach hanging out, like coughing and hanging out. Like, please come here and then do that stuff after the sessions. There'll be plenty of fun to be had. But yeah, we're going to Miami. We're also going to Toronto next week. Not
Yeah,
too late. It's not too late to book something for Toronto next week, and then Lisbon, Portugal. Also going to Portugal, you get 50 bucks off by using this code as well. Listen, EXP is global. We're going global. We got EXP cons all over the world. Come on, y'all.
yeah,
So yeah, it's going to be incredible there too. EXP Luxury is our one of our newer divisions. We're also coming out with EXP Land and Ranch actually later this month. But EXP Luxury is, again, if you're do we have anyone here that's signed up for luxury or on the luxury platform? Yep, of course, Jeff. Anybody else? I can't see everybody, but yes. So EXP Luxury is a game changer. It is head and shoulders, miles beyond what any of our competitors are offering in terms of the tool set, in terms of the functionality, in terms of the marketing. My gosh, like this is an incredible opportunity. If you want to tap into the luxury market, one of the best ways, and by the way, to increase your commission and the money in your pocket is simply increase the sale prices, right? So tapping into the luxury market, so you can get 20% off using this QR code as well.
Hey, Tony, did I hear on the
Sure.
luxury that luxury farm and ranch is going to go under the commercial side of things? Did I hear that on a mastermind call or no?
So what's going to happen is when we launch Land and Ranch, it is going to be very similar to luxury in that either side can take advantage of it. So there will be a buy-in just like with luxury. I think it's
Uh-huh.
$2,500 on the luxury side. You buy into that division, and that gives you access to all the tools and the unique branding and the marketing and all the tool sets and that sort of thing. So very similar with the Land and Ranch when we launch that later this month.
Okay, beautiful.
Um, Education, right? So again, Brian Ellington has committed that EXP will be the home for education. We will be the benchmark, the gold standard of education. He built it for Keller Williams. He built it for other organizations that he was a part of. And now he's coming here, and they've given him free reign to build the most incredible education and coaching platform that exists on the planet. And they've empowered him, and we've got the money to do it. So we're doing it, and he's doing it. So that's a part of what we're talking about here, which is luxury university reinvented. We're calling it the U. And this sort of is going to be that foundation. We have many programs like Fast Cap. What are they called? We got Fast Cap, Buyer Agency Evolution. We have Team Mastery. We have ongoing icon calls as usual, and then EXP Labs as well that we're going to have. So if you're new, or if you're ready to get restarted, or you have bringing agents here and they want to know, hey, how are you going to plug me into getting productive on day one? Fast Cap. I would say Fast Cap is the first thing, but EXP University, or the U as we're calling it, sort of sets that foundation. And then from there, we have Next Level Mastery. That's called Elevate Coaching. And again, this is where it's just like Larry said, the biggest piece to the Elevate Coaching is going to be the ensuring that, and the accountability piece, right? Making sure that you're actually doing what you've been trained at the university. So that's where the benefits of a coach come from. A lot of familiar faces here, probably Sherry Swift, Levi Lassick, Nolly Williams, Go-Go, Dan Beer, right? When we talk about the best of the best, we're talking about the best of the best. And again, the biggest benefit of the coaching is to make sure that you're being consistent in the application of this. So this is above and beyond what, like, hey, here's a class. Here, watch this video. No, like, this is actually boots on the ground. Like, let me help you, walk with you, and hold you accountable for your success and for your results. So that's our EXP Elevate Coaching. Again, you can scan this QR code and sign up for the wait list when that launches. So that is that enough for anybody? Like, I need to take a breath. Is that's enough. There's another little update too, by the way, which is called RevShare 2.0, but I'll stop there. I'll stop there if we have any questions or thoughts on what I just wrote through.
Yeah, guys, that was a lot of information and stuff there. But questions, comments, concerns on that whole side of it. Because again, we always have things coming out. There's a lot of emails and stuff that get lost in translation. This is where it's important to kind of digest, and you don't need to use all of those. Figure out the ones that work with your business plan, right? What are one or two things that you can take from each one of these calls that you can turn into and make your life better? It might be a mindset thing. It might be a calendar thing. It might be a business thing. It might be a family thing. It doesn't matter. Just make small incremental changes every time that we get together. So questions on this side?
Before I go, I want to point out in the chat, Kristen says luxury helped her increase her average sold price by 46% in 2023.
Woo!
Will you shoot me a message with that? I want to plug you in with Wendy.
That's for
that would be a great testimonial. Kristen, can you get that over to Tony King?
Workplace chat, please.
I'm off to iConversations.
Sure, yeah, I can. No problem.
Thank you.
All right.
Congratulations.
Jeff, go crush your icon conversation and stuff. I'll jump over there as soon as I get off of this, but go crush it, brother.
All right. Hope to see y'all there. Bye.
All right. Glad he pointed that out there. And yeah, Kristen, get that over to Tony King on Workplace. That will be a great testimonial. Just those numbers, those facts, those figures and stuff there. Other questions, comments, and concerns, guys?
Left him speechless.
Speechless. I mean, it's a lot, right? It's a lot, but we just got to tap into it. That's the biggest thing. All of it's irrelevant unless we actually use it and stuff here. And so,
hey, Larry, do you mind if I ask one?
No, this is why I opened it up, my brother. Go for it.
I appreciate it. Might be switching gears a touch, but man, Tony, thank you for being here. Clearly you have a really clear path to add value to agents. So my question is, you see everything that we have as an organization, as a company, and there's agents like all of us trying to help agents and other brokerages understand the value of eXp Realty. I'd love to hear a little bit, like, high level, how would you approach that dialogue? Like going from, hey, I see where you're at and I see your struggles, to getting someone successfully over here, leveraging everything that we have as a brokerage. What would your flow conversation look like?
I love that discussion. So because I get that question relatively often, and unfortunately there is no cookie cutter answer. But what I will do is give you a couple of different thought processes and mindsets to sort of approach the discussion, right? And the reason why there's not like a script that I recommend, or like, hey, everyone memorize this and this is what you say about EXP, is because A, it sounds like a robot, and B, everyone that comes to eXp, like I mentioned, that vending machine, everyone's looking for something a little bit different, right? In their business. So when you shift the mindset to really being inquisitive and asking questions and caring about that prospect, I call them a prospect, right? The person that you're talking to about eXp, that's where you get to find that point of resonation, right? And where you get to hit it. So one of the things that I recommend is just asking them, hey, tell me about your real estate business. That's it, right? Shut up after that, right? Tell me about your real estate business. And in so doing, they begin to tell you what their hot buttons are. And then you can sort of prompt and say, what do you like to do? What do you not like to do? What are you happy about? What are you most proud of? Like, and just engaging in that conversation about where they're at in their current real estate business. And then I've heard, a more kind of direct method is, hey, scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you with your current real estate business right now, right? If they're anything below an 8, all right, well, hey, what's it going to take to get you to a 10? Or if they're a 9, hey, what's it going to take to get to a 10, right? What's the missing piece? And then it's a simple conversation of if I would you. So, hey, if I could find a way to get you that 2 or 3 pieces that you're looking for, would that be worth a 10-minute coffee conversation sometime later next week? Always, by the way, sometime later next week, right? Because everyone's too busy if you ask now. But if you say, hey, sometime next week, it tends to be a little bit more open, then you sort of tie them in to that. So those would be just a few pointers, and just focus more on asking the right questions, which is, A, tell me about your real estate business, or how happy are you right now? What do you like to do? What do you not like to do? And then there's, of course, I've heard the Ford method, which is, start talking about their family, their, occupation, their recreation. And then I like the D, which is their dreams, their destination, where they're headed, and just engaging with the questions, because the questions are way more important than what you say. In asking the questions, you'll know what to say. That's why I want to focus on asking the right questions. Does that help at all? Probably not, but that's the best answer that I give, and it tends to help folks.
No, I think it helps significantly. I think a lot of people are looking for cookie cutter, but that's not what it's about. I think it's understanding what your value proposition is as a brokerage, even all the way down to like a group like us, and then being able to just listen to an agent and understand where their struggles are, so they're
Bingo.
not that person standing at the vending machine. Instead,
Bingo.
you've curated, like, all right, we're going to eat this appetizer, this main course, and this dessert, and rock and roll, because I think that's what helps people make that transition. So that was perfect, man. Thank you.
That's it.
Yeah.
And it's a question of, hey, what would you like, right? We got a whole entire, you've been to Cheesecake Factory, right? There's got like a freaking phone book of food in there, right? But your waiter comes to the table and says, hey, what would you like, right? And I think that when you approach it with that mindset of, hey, we got everything here, believe me, everything's on this menu. What would you like? What works for you? You looking for burgers? You looking for steak? You looking for, like, what's your thing? Salads? So I think when you approach it with that sort of mindset, that's because, by the way, if you just come and vomit all the eXp stuff all over them, you'll probably never get to what it is that is important to them. But B, you'll never get to present that information, right? I've been on, at this point, hundreds, maybe thousands of calls with team leads and with brokers. And one thing that I can say is that the focus always has to be on them and what their goals are, where they're trying to go in their real estate business. There's been times where I haven't even mentioned revenue share. Gasp! I see people gasping. Right? I've been on calls, never mentioned rev share, never mentioned healthcare, never mentioned the split, never mentioned several things, because those things didn't come up. They weren't on the top of that prospect's mind. They wanted to know about healthcare. Okay, well, let's talk about healthcare. All right. Because that's the problem that we're solving for. I'm not trying to solve for revenue. You're fine on your revenue, right? You're fine on this. All those things are now added benefits, added bonus to you. You want to talk about lead flow. Hey, my team's just not getting enough leads. Okay, let me tell you about revenues. Again, we're not touching rev share. We're not touching any of this other stuff. All we're talking about is the amazing lead platforms that we provide, right? So again, that's where there's no real script. It's just a matter of listening and then filling in the gaps.
Absolutely love it. And if you guys notice, right, it's all about them, not us. Like,
That's it.
The company is irrelevant. Like, we chose this model because it was the fastest vehicle. It had the most tools, the most resources that we can plug into. So we didn't have to recreate all of that ourselves by opening up our own brokerage. But again, it's about finding out what they need and then just plugging them into those tools and resources. Jared Ruffner is a prime example, right? Like, when we got together, like, I knew he was an REO, a default agent, right? That is what we spoke about. And now, 30 deals in the pipeline later, right? Like it came a reality, but only once we knew what the problem was. Debbie Darwin, same example and stuff over there, right? Last year, like 1 or 2 listings, and now I think she has 12 or 15, right? It's because we
incredible.
focused on the problem, and then we created the solution for it, guys. Wash, rinse, repeat over and over again. Any other questions for Tony?
I'll keep firing away if people don't have others, but I'll give everyone space.
Joseph, I love it, man. Listen, that's what I'm here for. So please, nobody else wants to use me. That's fine. They're all just soaking it in. I take it.
What else?
I'll throw another one out there. I mean, I know what eXp is as a brokerage. I know all the strength for myself anyway, as far as us being first to market, and at the same time, even though we are the juggernaut of agent ownership models, this week proves that we are still being true to our values, which is to be fluid, flexible, and really cutting edge in terms of willing to make change. But my question to you, Tony, is this: from your level, from your perspective and understanding eXp's model, and I'm sure some of our other competitors that are, agent ownership models, how do you see us uniquely positioned to be that dominant force?
Wow, that's a great question. So I think that I'll answer that a few ways. We could have the discussion about first mover advantage, right? But ultimately, it does depend on who you're talking to. And it's no different than sort of my previous answer in that eXp is so much different than these other companies. I could almost, there's 100 pages about why we're different and how we're different and structured from the ground up. So depending on what that person's concern is, like if they want to talk about stock, we can talk about the fact that, most of these other companies are not even publicly traded, or they're giving stock away that, doesn't mean anything, right? Like, hey, I'll go make you an owner right now. You can have 100 shares of stock. Let's go down to the down to the bank and do that now, right? So, or Secretary of State, I mean. So I think that's one piece to talk about. It is the stability of the company, and in a proven business with a proven business model. What percentage of businesses fail in the first 5 years, let's say, right? And you these are rhetorical questions that I'll sometimes pose out there when I'm having these conversations. And then I let them sort of chew on that, right? Because the reality is within 5 years, 90+% of businesses fail. I think it's like 93 or something percent of businesses fail within the first 5 years. Now you talk about real estate businesses, what percentage of real estate businesses fail in the first 5 years? That number is even higher. And then you look at how much debt some of these companies are carrying, and the financial piece behind the scenes, everything's on freaking fire. I think that, the likelihood of long-term success is minimal at best for the majority of these companies, just based on the financial position that they found themselves in, as opposed to eXp, where we are zero debt on our balance sheet. We are financially solid. We have hundreds of millions of dollars in cash in the bank to be able to settle issues, lawsuits, things like that pop up. And again, it's not even a discussion. And going into a shift, 90,000 agents strong, as the #1 brokerage, as the most profitable brokerage with the least amount of debt, and I go on and on and on, right? So it depends. I'll structure that based on who I'm talking to and what's important to that person about eXp. But the models, although they may try to copycat, most of these companies are facing issues that they haven't even thought of yet, that we've already solved, right? So like when you talk about things like our revenue share, like the sustainability of revenue share, like some of our marketing things, those growing pains and those things, like one of these companies, for instance, is violating SEC rules, and they don't know it yet because they haven't gotten big enough to even know that they're screwing up. So things like that we've already been through, that we've grown through, again, it's night and day. So one of the questions I'll pose is, hey, how many times do you plan to start your real estate business over again? Right? Because and then I'll let that question breathe, right? And I'll say, how many times do you plan on starting over? Because the reality is, if you leave and go somewhere else, if I'm talking to someone that's considering another model, you're going to start over there, and then when that fails, you're going to start over the next place, and you end up with that 1 year of experience 10 times, as opposed to having 10 years of experience here, where you get to stay in and build something brick by brick and grow something that's truly incredible, not only for you, but for your family and your legacy in this real estate business.
Beautiful. I see James Brown over there in Colorado wants to speak up finally. What's going on, James
James
Brown?
Brown.
Hey, Tony. Thanks for jumping on here. This is awesome.
My
to
pleasure.
have you. You got my wheels turning on a bunch of stuff, but the top of mind, the books, eXp books. Is there like a place to submit those? Because I'm thinking about some books that I've
That
read.
is an excellent question. I don't know. I will find, if you send me a workplace chat, I will find the answer for you. Let me see. Do I have information on that? Let me see.
Yeah, because a lot of this stuff is rolling out now, right? So again,
Yeah, this is
some small
new stuff.
growing pains and learning where to go and how to source and stuff like that, that as well. But this is where folks like Tony, if he doesn't know it, he can find out where we can figure out the answer.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, I'll do that. Thanks, Tony.
My
Beautiful.
pleasure.
Any other questions before we talk about my favorite topic?
Oh yeah, here we are. So yeah, if you just go to that link, it's here, I'll drop it in the chat. There's a tab at the bottom. Of course, our marketing team already thought of this, right? So if you scroll down to the bottom there, you can submit, it looks like there.
Wendy probably thought of that and created it
On her way in the door.
4 days.
Yeah.
She's had a busy 4 days, man. Oh my goodness.
It's been a lot. It's been a lot for sure.
Any other questions, James? I see your hand raised there. Any other questions, brother? All right. Very cool. Any other questions, guys, before we talk about my favorite topic of rev share? All right. Can we give folks a Cliff Notes version of what the hell did we do Rev Share 2.0? Because I am so excited on how more inclusive this will add to people, right? Like how much more this will get people involved with revenue share and some of the abilities, man. Like I would love for you to give people a Cliff Notes version of that.
I sure can. How about this? Yes and no, right? So I have a Cliff Notes version, but I won't give it to you. We'll hear from our founder, Mr. Glenn Sanford. He can explain everything. 5 minutes. Can y'all hear that?
Hey everyone, Glenn Sanford here, founder of eXp Realty. And today I'm really excited to talk about a new initiative. Actually, it's an updated initiative. We'll call it 2.0. It's eXp Realty's RevShare 2.0 program. Obviously, in 2009, we set out to build the first company in the history of real estate where agents could actually earn income based on what would normally have went to the broker owner. By helping the brokers expand, the revenue share program was born to really help agents build an additional stream of income to actually assist the brokerage in growing the brokerage. Since then, we introduced our equity ownership initiatives in 2014 after becoming a public company in 2013. In fact, last year, we shared $230 million in both rev share and equity to our agents and brokers who are with us producing and helping the company grow. So in 2019, we actually introduced what we called our sustainable rev share program, which is really our commitment to always paying out 50% of our company dollar in the form of rev share, which we've done every day since 2019. But with that also came some, we'll call it some slight nuances in that we actually created what we referred to as a sustainable revenue share buffer. A lot of agents had really pushed back on how those calculations were done. It wasn't as transparent as they would like. And so based on your feedback, we're actually rolling out eXp Realty's RevShare 2.0 program starting really shortly after you see this video. And basically what it is we're actually turning it into fixed percentages that will always pay out, and then we're going to actually bonus on top of that. So it'll be much easier to calculate the rev share and then how the bonuses ultimately get paid out. So that's kind of the first step. The second thing that we're doing is we're actually going to make it easier to qualify for rev share on levels 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And how are we going to do that? We're actually going to reduce the number of FLQAs, frontline qualifying agents, and you'll actually earn levels 1, 2, level 3 income without having to have a large frontline qualifying agent group. You'll also still get the expansion share through all 7 levels. But with that, once this fully rolls out, it will only take 5 agents, 5 frontline qualifying agents to qualify for level 4, 10 for level 5, and 15 for level 6. Level 7 is going to stay the same. Some of you may remember that we actually reduced the number of FLQAs from 40 to 30 to actually make it easier to qualify for level 7 last year, and there's a lot of agents that were really excited about that. But that's going to stay at 30, and so for those of you who are really about growing large rev share organizations and really want to maximize to the fullest the rev share opportunity, and you're kind of that broker owner, sales manager, recruiter persona, then level 7 is going to be really continue to excite you. Also, one of the other things that we're going to be doing is starting in July, you'll actually be able to earn 5% of the GCI on agents as they cap, or up to $4,000 on an $80,000 of the gross commission based on full cap agents, which basically means we're paying out 25% of the company dollar on agents when they join for their first year to their sponsor. And so this is something that we're really excited about. It's going to help agents really start to earn income faster, and then they'll automatically again have levels 2 and 3 automatically opened up. So we think this is a really exciting new initiative. The last one, this is something that I've been thinking about for a long time, and it's really this concept that if you're a broker owner, and we've always said we want to put you in the seat of the broker owner. If you're a broker owner and a real estate transaction closes at your brokerage, when do you get paid? Well, you get paid on the day of closing. You don't have to wait, 20, 30, 40, 45 days to actually get paid. You get paid at the same time that the transaction closes. So starting as well is real-time rev share. And so you'll be able to go into My eXp, you'll actually be able to pay a Pay Me Now button, you'll actually be able to pay yourself any accumulated rev share that's accumulating for the next check. And by the way, if you don't hit the Pay Me Now or button, it will accumulate and it'll still get paid out the way it's always been paid out. But for those of you who like, hey, I've got some money accumulating there, I might need it for some reason, you'll actually be able to accelerate that and get it immediately. So really excited about all of these initiatives. Again, super stoked. Thanks for being on the journey with me and all of us here at eXp. It's been a labor of love for the last 14 and a half years. It's hard to believe that I've been doing eXp that long. But with that, hope you guys are doing well and hope you really like eXp Realty's RevShare 2.0. Thanks, everyone.
There you have it. So what am I going to say that's better than that,
Yeah.
So he did it in 5 minutes. It'd take me an hour.
So for a lot of you guys, right, and like there's some examples, Joseph, you mind if we talk about you for a moment?
You're more than welcome to, buddy.
So how big's your organization, brother?
800.
800. How many qualifying agents do you have?
As of right now, I have 12.
Well, so you guys know what this means. Right now, he qualifies for his first, second, and third level. So most of you guys, which are all underneath Joseph Limo, he doesn't touch, right? Like he doesn't qualify for that. And it's heartbreaking because it's hard, right? There's this recruiting side of it. There's a retention side of it. There's adding value side of it, right? And so automatically now his first 3 levels are fully unlocked. And now he's already opened up his 4th and his 5th level, which will change his entire family dynamic. It will change his family's life. Same with Jerry Stapp, same with James Cottrell, and hundreds of other agents across the country. So this is designed to get more people involved, because when you're getting it, it's life changing. And then that gets you more motivated and stuff in it as well. So like those of you that have a lot of listings like Jared and Debbie, like this is where we have to start leveraging this, not just to make the commissions, but building buyers teams, open house teams, etc. Helping other people grow is the key to this particular model, and why all of us kind of shut down our brokerages and merged over here together, guys. So we got a lot of good stuff going, and I am so thrilled for these changes for all of you guys, for our leadership group and everybody else. But any questions like off the cuff on that for right now?
Still
Nothing.
speechless.
Man.
People
So
should be.
I dropped. Yeah, go ahead.
No, please, Tony, go for it.
Yeah, no, I dropped in the link, by the way, the resource with that video in it, as well as our marketing. Obviously, this is Wendy's first sort of day, first thing in, is to put this incredible website together that explains all the changes. It has tools, it has bullet points, it has FAQs, it has documents that you can use and download for your explanations about eXp, infographics, charts, and then additional videos. So all that stuff is in that link that I just posted. That you can use scripts, the whole thing.
Guys, this is a game changer. Now, if we combine this with what Tony said, right? Like, don't try and sell this to anybody. That's silly. Like most agents right now, because I talk to thousands of them every single month. 2021 was their best year ever. 2023 is their worst year ever. Interest rates are high. There's no inventory. People are freaking out. There's this NAR settlement. There's all of these distractions, right? Find out how we can add value to other agents. Like our tool, our group alone has passed out over 600 listings so far this year. Like we can change the trajectory of people's business, but only if we talk to them and we have them. This is where our leadership group, like your guys' upline, we will help you guys build this out, right? We just need to know what the problems are. This is why we have 21 different coaches in our group, why we have these different lead generation, asset management companies. I'm getting ready to sign on for a lead generation company right now. Literally, I'll be able to provide pre-qualified listing leads across the country, any city, any county, etc. They're worthless if you never call, if you never use like iList or Express Offers to be like, hey, I see that you have your home off market. Are you willing to look at an offer? If you can't say that, don't call me and ask me for these leads. If you're not going to do anything, don't waste my time. Don't waste your time. If it fits with your business plan, let's go, right? Like, let's figure out who does want to use these resources and really help them out as well.
Hey, Larry, I want to add one thing. So a lot of you on here know Ruben and Jen Hernandez with EGA Homes, Eagle Globe Anchor. Tony knows what that's about, right? That 53 agent brokerage that's come over here, a lot of them are on this call today. I see Trina on, for example. Love to see her on here. I got a text message from Jen yesterday because they were in Cabo. And when she understood the change of RevShare 2.0, she texted me late last night because she was so elated. Broker owners that are making that transition here to eXp truly care about their agents having the same opportunity as them. And there are broker owners out there that are struggling. And for them to better understand how this model will support them, especially with these changes, they're going to love it. Okay. Because a lot of them are like, look, I'm going to shed my ego and put my agents in a better position while at the same time putting myself in one as well. So make sure that you understand how this works so they can better understand it. Broker owners out there, man, the independents, they're going to look at this and go, man, I don't know how many times I could say no to this, especially with these changes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, guys, this is a special one, and this opens it up to a lot of different people. There's some companies that have emulated our model. You have to be fully capped out in production before you can even tap into RevShare, right? You could have 800 people, and if you haven't capped out at your GCI, it's not even accessible to you. Like, yeah. How good is that? How much is that worth to you and stuff there, right? So this is where this is a game changer, and we have so much flexibility being debt-free, having ran this model, learned through these growing pains and stuff. And not to mention, Brandon Williams was on our mastermind call yesterday. Guys, he's been analyzing data for the last 4 months. He said that he has tested over 200 different revenue share type models, and this one that he rolled out was the most lucrative for all of the agents. Right. So this wasn't just like, oh, maybe we should try this, right? Like literally they've been testing this for the last 5-6 months now. And this was the one that added the most value. Take advantage of it. Otherwise, rev share means nothing to you at the end of the day. Yeah, so I just wanted to share that with you guys. So guys, I see us at the top of the hour and stuff here. Jeff Russell is over in Icon Conversations over in eXp World. I'm going to jump over there and listen to what those guys have to say. Tony King, man, I appreciate you jumping on, sharing the knowledge. Congratulations on all of the success that you've had here. Looking forward to you continuing to grow that and just add so much more value to everybody else. I sent you a note. I will be back in Fort Worth on the 16th doing another event. If it fits into your calendar, man, I would love to see you out there and stuff like that. If not, I totally understand, but I would love to share some space and stuff with you as well. Guys, go out there and kick ass this week. Call, text, email me if you guys need anything at all, and we will talk to you soon. Have a great day, guys.
Thank you all so much. Love y'all. We'll see you
Bye-bye.
soon.